What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Undrafted Opinions. This show is all about our view on the world of sports, and it gives you a different lens on that. We are covering a bunch of topics in this video. I'm Richard Radillo.
I'm Jacob Lloyd.
The topics that we are going to be covering is Matchday 2 of the World Cup Finals. Also... and then MLB All-Star ballots as well. But before you do that, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you are listening on the audio version, go ahead and like and subscribe as well over there as well. And that's pretty much it. Let's get into it. Yeah, let's get into it. Match day 1, we already went through. You can check that out as well before we start this. The videos should be there, or there's like a thing that will pop up saying like, "Oh, hey, this is match day 1. You can go check that out." I think we only missed like the last day in that whole spiel of games just because of the day we recorded.
Right. Yeah.
And we're recording this on the 25th, so match day 3 already started today, but we're not going to talk about that until the end of it. But anyways, getting into the first match of match day 2 was Russia versus Egypt. Russia won 3-1. And then after that, as a result of that, Russia needed to win or draw versus Uruguay to be top of the group, and that basically eliminated. The next game. So then Egypt was already eliminated after that result.
Yeah, after this game.
Yes.
It was, yeah. So there are 2 teams on 6, 2 teams on 0. So Egypt is already eliminated. It was a really good result for Russia. I kind of feel like they have this home field advantage going for them. They're playing a lot better. Like they're going in, they were the lowest ranked team in the World Cup. I feel like they're playing a lot better than a lot of people expected them to. Not that beating Saudi Arabia and Egypt
is impressive.
Is like,
oh my God, you beat Saudi Arabia!
But still, I mean, I don't think anyone really expected them to get out of the group. I think you had Egypt.
I had Egypt because of Salah.
Yeah.
And then you had Saudi Arabia because like Russia was last.
Right. Yeah.
And
neither one of us had Russia going through.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that I don't like Russia, but I just didn't have. I felt like they always seem to like not fall like. They always fall apart, and like I said, they're like the Ireland or like the England. They're not very technical most of the time. Oh, not England. Never mind. England's kind of some of their players. Depends.
Dang, that was about to be a real hot take on England.
Sorry.
You backpedaled real quick.
Wait. I was thinking of Scotland. I'm sorry, my bad. But you know what I mean. I don't know why I said that. I meant Scotland. Those teams, those smaller UK teams.
Okay.
But like that was my take. I was like I felt like Salah would have been the difference maker for Egypt, but he wasn't in this game. It seemed like he kind of really didn't exist.
Yeah.
And they basically muted him out of the game.
Yeah.
And that's all they needed to do. I think they're playing good defensively. Today, obviously, they didn't.
Spoiler alert.
But I mean, it is Egypt and Saudi Arabia. I mean, anyone could have picked those 3 different teams and would have been a decent pick, too. To get through the group.
Okay, I see what you mean. So you're like Uruguay was for sure going to get through, and like realistically, any of these 3 could have made it in second place.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. It was a great result. This second game, anyway, was a great result for Russia. Uruguay beat Saudi Arabia in the other Matchday 2 game in Group A, 1-0. This if I remember correctly, this goal came really late.
Yeah, I think this was like I don't know. I think it was Cavani that scored, maybe, or it might have been Jimenez or something like that. It was a really late goal. I think it was a set piece for sure, from what I remember. And I think like what usually happens. I mean, this like you can say like, oh, Uruguay barely got by. I think just like Saudi Arabia was just so organized, and they got the first game jitters out. So like that's why they were a little bit more composed in this game, which I can respect. And they probably looked a lot. They probably took some notes from the Egypt game. Egypt almost held their ground against Uruguay and almost came out with a draw, which might have like motivated them even more in that Russia game. But that's what my take of that game was really.
I think
what it was.
I think that Saudi Arabia, after being embarrassed 5-0 in the opening game against Russia, I think that they really kind of came out with a chip on their shoulder, and this was a really big game for them because with their last game, I think realistically the way that Egypt has been playing in the first. At least like the first game and then like the game. I think this Russia game kicked off before the Uruguay Saudi Arabia game. So like if Saudi Arabia could have got a result from that game, they would have put themselves in at least decent position to have a shot at that second place.
Yeah.
Because like they would be they're up against Egypt in that third game. That third game doesn't matter anymore because both those teams are eliminated. But I kind of feel that's what happened. And Uruguay was kind of sluggish in the first game against Egypt too. So I was I guess a little bit surprised that they didn't kind of get it going a little bit more fluid.
I feel like the problem with them is like they have Cavani and Suarez up top, and I feel like they're very similar.
Do you think they got kind of get in each other's ways?
Yeah, but like today, like you saw that it wasn't like that. It just seems like one was like out in like it seemed like Suarez was like making a lot of runs while Cavani would kind of stay back, and I think that's what they were trying. I feel like these games are like they're in a bad enough group to where like they'll be able to get through the group, but I think they're still figuring themselves out, which is good, which will help them survive. And today we found out like
yeah. Okay, so moving on to Group B. The two games in Group B were Portugal and Morocco, and Spain and Iran. Both of these were 1-0 for 1-0 for Portugal, 1-0 for Spain. Ronaldo scored early, like the 4th or 5th minute, on a set piece. It was a corner, I think. I don't think it was a penalty. I think it was a corner.
Yes, I'm gonna say yes from what I remember.
I know it was Ronaldo that scored. I know it was Ronaldo that scored. So a big win for both of those teams, especially after their draw in the first game. Spain and Portugal getting 3 points, putting themselves
more comfortable
at the top of the group, and tied at the top of the group. I think that Portugal, to me, they played really well. Well, they played better than I thought they would against Spain. I think they had a lot of things that went their way.
Yes, and
I think that I feel like Morocco outplayed them in this game, and they were just unlucky.
Yeah, this is like why I would have. That's why I had Morocco.
You had Morocco
as my dark horse because like I felt like they did play well in both of their games. It's just like the first game one was just like them just trying. They were basically owned that game. It was just the unlucky result that they didn't get anything. Get the own goal and plus not get anything in.
Yeah.
And then this one, same thing. It's like unlucky.
So the Cristiano Ronaldo team threw on 4 points, and Spain nicked a goal at the very end. I want to say it was Isco that scored at the very end. I don't remember.
I think it was Isco or Asensio, or one of those two.
Okay, yeah. So they scored late against Iran. So the Portugal needed a win or a draw versus Iran to advance. Iran would have gone through if they had won, but that game was this morning, and it was a 1-1 draw between Iran and Portugal.
It was good and close. It came almost down to the wire in the sense of like the results that were holding.
Yeah, because Spain was losing too, so it was for like up until like the very very end. And then Spain had a 2-2 draw with Morocco. I think that. What was I going to say? Until I lost my train of thought. Anyway, Spain going through at the top of the group. Portugal just squeaking through. Oh, I remember. The Portugal-Iran game, Iran had a chance, like, in stoppage time. They got, like, clean through on De Gea, and the guy hit it in the side netting. It was like, Iran that guy, and they showed that guy after the game. It was a little bit heartbreaking. Like, the guy was just, like, bawling, because he knew he, like, missed his chance.
Oh, it's too bad he's Iranian. I feel so bad for him.
Wow. I mean, could have put his team through. He was about like Chris
Wondolowski right there.
That's basically what it was. He was 1 foot away from eternal glory, and just put it in the side netting. So Portugal got let off the hook there. Definitely. But those are the two teams that we expected to come through this group.
Exactly.
So no surprises there.
Then moving on to Group C.
C. Yeah.
We got Denmark that drew against Australia, and then we had France that barely squeaked by with Peru.
Yeah.
What Pogba scored that goal, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Denmark somehow, I don't know how. Like, I mean, Australia, like I said, they're gonna play well. I think they're gonna play well. They're gonna give you a fight. They're gonna be like the little dog versus the big dog. Even though Denmark's not that big, but they still have like a good amount of players on that team, to where it's kind of impressive. But that just, I mean. Even if they didn't get the win in this game, or I mean, even though they got the draw in this game, I think it still helps out Denmark because they already got the 3 points from the previous game. Yeah,
so that draw did keep Australia from elimination completely. Peru's already been eliminated. They were my dark horse, just like so. Both of our dark horses eliminated really early here in the World Cup. So I had Peru going through in the second spot in this group, and they decided not to come from Peru. They just stayed home.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had the guy that their top goal scorer in the group in qualifying that didn't show up or wasn't allowed to play, and I think they had an injury, another injury that I forgot the guy's name. So that's
they played. I actually thought that they played really well in the first Matchday game, but just like weren't able to put any. Like they outshot their opponents by like almost double, I think, and just weren't able to really get anything in the back of the net. So the big game coming up from that group is France and Denmark.
See who goes top.
Yes, if Australia can squeak in if Denmark loses and Australia beats Peru.
Yeah.
I think then it might. Yeah, it'll come down to goal difference there. But I think the goal difference is so close right now that like even if it's like a 1 point loss or a 1 goal loss for Denmark and a 1 goal win for Australia, that it'll flip. So we'll have to see what happens there. At least Australia has a chance.
Australia does have a chance. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Right, that's how they say it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, moving on to group D. We got Argentina, who didn't show up to that game and lost to Korea 3-0. And then Nigeria beat the Vikings of Iceland 2-0. Just sloppy Argentina, like through and through. I know watching the beginning of the game, it seemed like, okay, this team maybe will play today, but it just fell apart. And Luka Modric, Jimmy Conrad saying like Luka Modric is one of the best midfielders in the world.
I'm pretty sure he said he was the best.
Oh, the best?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he put his foot down.
I was trying to give him I didn't want to say the best, but yeah. I mean,
nah, dude, he put it out there. All right. He's open for business.
It was a great performance by Croatia.
Oh yeah.
This is like what they did in the Euros when they went up against Spain. And Perisic put the team on his not put the team on his back, but it was great team play, and then he was just the difference that got them through. This time around, it was Modric. That was it. And I feel like we were talking yesterday on like they have a solid enough group of guys that like they can probably get pretty deep into the
I think
the knockout stages. Yeah. I mean, especially with the next round because it's going to be either Denmark or Australia for them.
Right. They could end up stuck with France depending on how that France.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like that. I mean, that doesn't look bad for them if they got because I feel like everyone's gonna say France is gonna be top of that group. So I think they are actually because they got 6 points.
Yeah, I know, but and Denmark has 4. So if Denmark wins, it's 7-6.
So they just need a draw and they're fine, basically.
Right. France needs a draw or a win. Yeah. So Croatia could end up getting stuck with France in the round of 16. I think that would be unfortunate for them because I definitely feel like they definitely earned their number 1 seed. And they would be really unlucky to end up against like one of the bigger favorites in the first round. Yeah, in France. Argentina, going back to them, they have not. They played very poorly in qualifying leading up to the World Cup, and I just didn't believe that it would continue. That they would kind of, at least a couple of them would like kind of step up to the occasion.
What's like their lack of involvement of their other key players that are up top as well?
I honestly don't feel that Messi is not doing. I don't feel like Messi is even making a difference on his own, like we're used to seeing. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying is like they're not giving like the ball the chance to even get on the field. I don't think he even made.
He came on in the last like 10 minutes.
That doesn't really count.
But what's weird is that when Argentina started getting desperate, I think they made they made the simultaneous like double sub when they were down 2-0. After I think Modric was the one that scored the second goal. Could be wrong. I don't remember. They brought on Higuain. They brought off Aguero for Higuain, and then they brought on Dybala. And it just, at that point, they're playing like a 2-2-5. I don't even know if it was 2-3-5. They had just like everyone thrown forward. Otamendi was really far forward. And I just felt like they literally had like 3 strikers and 2 wingers up. And I just felt like everyone was getting in everyone's way.
Yeah.
They like completely destroyed their shape out of desperation.
Like they're having like, I felt like they're having the issue coming to the tournament with like Uruguay and figuring out how to get those top guys to gel well, and like they haven't figured it out. And they're also in the group where you kind of don't have the opportunity in a way. I mean, you could have figured it out with Iceland, but then going into Croatia, it's like now you're in the hole because like now they're gonna have to beat Nigeria to get through, convincingly, and Croatia's obviously gonna get through the group because I mean they got Iceland, they're probably gonna probably keep it in cruise control. Probably get like a 1-0 victory out of that. I'm guessing, or like it comes down to the Nigeria game, which is the next game, and I feel like
So it was a really big win for Nigeria.
Yeah,
and
impressive.
this game kicked off, I believe, the morning after the Argentina-Croatia game. So there was a good half day there where it was possible that Argentina was going to be eliminated after the second game. I think if Iceland had won this game, because of Iceland's draw with Argentina earlier, I think Iceland would have knocked out Argentina. Or it would have been where like there would have had to have been a huge goal difference swing for Argentina to stay in. So Nigeria really bailing Argentina out with that 2-0 win. And they played, bailing themselves out too.
Yeah.
Because they would have been eliminated as well had they lost that game. Ahmed Musa, who plays, I don't know, he's bounced around. I feel like he's bounced around so much.
He was
recently.
at
He's
Leicester, and then I think he went back to
CSK, yeah. He scored both, if I remember correctly. The first one was a really nice goal. So yeah, good for Nigeria keeping themselves alive. Now they face what on paper is a really big challenge, but honestly, the way Nigeria has nothing to lose. They can just go for it.
Yeah,
and they don't have any pressure.
It would be nice to have them prove like their not golden generation, but like all the hype around their younger players coming up, and winning all those youth under whatever World Cups and whatnot. This would be a good.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As well, so.
Yeah, it's true. So they need to win against Argentina, and they go through.
And then and at worst, they got to play France.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
I think they would have opportunities with the way France is looking. But now moving on to what this is Group E.
Yeah,
I don't know my alphabet letters apparently.
I didn't. I did. I guess I put them in.
No, that's fine. Yeah, but I figured. So we got Brazil that won 2-0 on Costa Rica.
2 very late goals.
Yes, and then I think both of them were extra time goals.
Yeah. Neymar and Coutinho.
Yes,
yeah.
And then Switzerland versus Serbia, which they got by I think at the end too as well. There with Shaqiri.
Yeah. I really felt the Brazil game, although it took them a while to get there. Obviously, took them the full 90 minutes to get their 2 goals. I feel like that result was inevitable. Just the way that the traffic in that game was flowing. I was like, Costa Rica could not get out of their half. They couldn't keep possession. It was just a matter of Brazil finding that last pass, or Coutinho just putting the ball in the back of the net on his own. The game that stuck out to me here was the Serbia-Switzerland game. I felt like Serbia. So I even though Switzerland had a good couple of counterattacking goals, I really felt like Serbia deserved to win this game, and I was kind of pulling for them, especially after how they won the first game with that free kick. I think it was they could have I think they would have put themselves through with a win there.
It would have been the same result as the Group A.
Yeah. So a little bit unlucky for them, I think. So now with Serbia coming up against Brazil, they need to win against Brazil in order to advance now.
Yeah, they just unfortunately stacked the odds against them with a result like this.
They really needed
Switzerland
that game.
Looking real comfortable against Costa Rica. As long as their key players show up for that game, they don't have any stupid little mistakes, control possession, and they're looking at getting into the next round for sure.
And just a quick note, I guess Brazil, with the way they performed against Switzerland in the first game, it's leaving themselves vulnerable. I think they would have definitely to have gotten a win in the first round as well, with just them being on 4 points. If they come out sluggish or Serbia gets an early goal or anything like that, it could get pretty nervy for them. I think they have a lot of pressure on them just for the fact that they're Brazil, but also the way they went out in the last World Cup against Germany. I think that game could be that's another game similar to the Argentina-Nigeria game. Nigeria has no pressure on them. I think Serbia really does not have any pressure on them. They can just go for it.
Well, because it'd be interesting because the next group looks interesting as well. But let's say Switzerland goes top, and then Brazil goes 2. So
you end up with Brazil, Germany in the round of 16.
Well, that's if Germany goes top 2.
Right.
The next one. So it's going to be a weird combination of game, or what the results are going to be, and what the next game is going to look like for the next 2 groups. It makes this more exciting.
Yeah.
Because either we get an early Brazil versus Germany, or we get Brazil versus Mexico. Or this has the most cool early implications.
I understand that being exciting for I guess the neutral, but if I was from Brazil, I would just want them to get through, and then we worry about who we're playing later. Like, just make sure you qualify for the
Yeah,
rest.
I don't care about like I'm not I don't.
I understand what you're saying though, because like we're looking at the like. Oh,
but looking
they
at
finished
Brazil though,
second.
yeah, you better show up. But yeah, so let's move on to the next one.
Group
we got
F.
Group F. We got Mexico that won 2-1 versus South Korea, and then we had Germany that won 2-1 versus Switzerland. Mexico, very impressive. I feel very organized, and they got the job done.
And they got contributions from their veterans, like Chicharito and Carlos Vela with the penalty kick were the ones that scored their goals. So I think that was good for them.
Yeah, and like they didn't have the hangover effect with the German win, which is good. I mean, like what
guess.
Chicharito said is like we need to focus on the next game. Like we already won this game. Let's do the time in. Let's not mess around. Let's not celebrate until we get. He wants obviously their goal in this is to win the World Cup. So like that's when they want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Even though their fans are a little bit. Because
we
live
have
in
like fifth game curse or whatever.
Yeah, like we live in Southern California, so like I've definitely seen some just crazy stuff, and all that stuff is happening like basically down the street from us.
Yeah.
But yeah, very impressive. I'm hopefully this holds. The next game against Sweden is gonna be big for them, obviously, because they can just fall apart right there as well. I think they need Sweden needs 3 goals on them for the next round to get through. Just because of goal difference, and then Germany with their game at the very end there, squeezing by with the Toni Kroos free kick, which I was just like, all right, man, like
it was crazy.
I was like, dude, that was one of the most beautiful free kicks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it was like some like schoolboy stuff too, because like how Marco Roach just said after, it was like, boop, and then just curved in. I was just like,
yeah,
oof,
perfectly placed.
They made my heart feel good. Like that feels just as good as like when I hear a good pop on a home run. Like that was just like, I'm gonna go to sleep, guys. I'm done.
Just turn the TV off and walk away.
But Germany, I think, that was a come from behind victory. I think definitely like they just need to figure out the first 45 minutes, and then I feel like they're probably the team that needs to hold for 45 minutes and then let it go after the second half, and that's when they start to pile it on. And, I think that's what kind of Germany team we're watching in this tournament. Starts.
Group F is, I think, the only group where all 3 teams are like mathematically still in contention. Because South Korea is depending on South Korea's not been eliminated yet. Because if they beat Mexico, they'll be on 3 points, and if
you mean all? Okay, wait, never mind. Okay.
I think it's possible that if South Korea beats Germany by a lot, and Mexico beats Sweden, South Korea will make it through by a goal difference.
I thought they have 0 points.
They do, but if Sweden and Germany both lose, they will also only have 3 points.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So this is
I'm stupid.
This is the only group where all 4 teams are still in mathematically. So it's good. It's like both of these games are going to actually matter to everyone involved. Because even though it's like a very low probability, Korea still can make it. They just need a lot of things to go their way.
Yeah, because they are down. They have a -2 goal difference.
Yeah, so they need to make up some ground there. But it's possible.
Yeah.
So both of these games really matter. But this is I made a couple of notes on our sheets here, just like of a couple of things that need to happen. So like South Korea has to beat Germany like to even have a chance to get through. Obviously, they'll have not enough points. And then Mexico will top the group with a win or a draw against Sweden. They just need a minimum of 1. And then Germany and Sweden on 3 points. And there are just so many possible combinations depending on the number of goals scored in each of these games and all that. So it's very likely that someone will be eliminated here just purely on goal difference. Mm-hmm. So again, and with Germany, like another big country leaving themselves vulnerable in this last game.
Yeah.
So they just need to be careful.
Interesting World Cup here.
Yeah.
So moving on to what is this group?
G.
F? Oh, G.
We just did F. Yeah,
okay, that was okay. We had Belgium that won 5-2 against Tunisia, and then we had England smashing Panama 6-1.
It was 5-0 at halftime.
Yeah, which was they scored a goal like every 10 minutes.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
The I think this is the only group that felt like the people that were supposed to won.
Yeah, these are really the only 2 of the bigger nations that just got their job done early. They don't have to worry about this. I mean, other than position, which I guess that would be Group H. Honestly, looking at Group H, they don't have really too many. I think whoever ends up, if Colombia makes it through, that might be a little bit of a worry. But both of the teams going through will probably have a somewhat favorable draw.
Yeah.
So they have a game. Obviously, Belgium and England play each other next. The winner decides
who's top.
Right, who's top.
But I don't think in my eyes, I feel like it doesn't really matter on who's going to be top because I feel like all those teams in the next group are like I said, they have favorable draws against
Colombia
them.
would be the worst, so it just depends on where Colombia finishes. Tunisia. I think Tunisia and Panama, both of them felt like, and maybe like Saudi Arabia or Morocco or one of those, or even like the way Peru's result ended up, really kind of felt both these teams felt like they were out of their depth. Tunisia did score a couple against Belgium, but like the game was already gone.
Yeah.
So really the only game literally that matters here, because Tunisia and Panama are already eliminated, is the Belgium-England game. I think this will be a bigger test for England than it is Belgium.
Yeah, so how real they are.
Yeah.
And like if they can squeeze a result, I think that would be very impressive.
Because I do think that I have more faith in like Belgium's 5 goals against Tunisia than I do against England's 6 goals against Panama. I feel like literally everything went their way in that game. Like just look at Harry Kane's hat trick. I woke up in the morning. This was a 5 a.m. game here on the West Coast. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm reading like the alerts on my phone from ESPN. It's like, oh, Harry Kane scores first English hat trick since like the '84 World Cup when Gary Lineker scored a hat trick. And then like I go watch the highlights and the dude scored 2 penalties and then a teammate kicked the ball into him and then the ball went in the back of the net. So like it was the most like pathetic hat trick I've ever seen in my life.
You hear that, Harry Kane? Yeah. Pathetic hat trick. Hear from Jacob Bowler. Adam.
So I think we'll have to see how England performs, especially defensively against a team like Belgium.
We shall see. So moving on, we got the last group, which is like an interesting group because Poland was eliminated. Right? Am I right?
Poland was eliminated.
Yeah. So we got Japan that drew against Senegal, and then we had Poland that went down 3-0 to Colombia. So obviously the surprises of these groups is Japan. I don't think Japan was like they were probably supposed to be the punching bag of this group, but they are not. The Senegal squeezed out. It was Senegal that had the late goals, right? No, Japan was down 2-1. Japan, never mind.
Yeah.
And then I only watched highlights of that game because that game was the earlier game that I was not conscious for. So I mean. The result benefits both of them, but I think one of them probably would have wanted the win to make it more comfortable.
Senegal is the one that needed the win because they're the ones playing Colombia.
Well, yeah.
So like that late goal, was it Okazaki?
Honda.
Kisuke Honda, that's right.
Honda.
Yeah. So Honda coming on as a substitute, scoring a big goal for them. So that put both Senegal and Japan on 4 points, tied at the top of the group. Very similar to Group B with Spain and Portugal. Similar scenario. Although in this group, the chasing team is like the best team in the group, I think. The Colombia was just like smooth as silk against like all of their goals and like their build-up play.
Well, a lot of it too was like Poland was just very sloppy. First touches, they were just giving the ball up, and I was just like, what?
They couldn't get out.
What is going on here?
Yeah,
am I watching the U.S. men's team right now? Jesus.
Yeah.
And then no service with Lewandowski either, so that was like, there's no way of them winning that game playing like that.
Yeah. So Colombia needs a win against Senegal, or if Colombia draws, then they need a draw from the Japanese game with Poland, because that would put. Oh, did I mess that up? I might have messed that up. That might not be right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, I expect that Colombia will get the win there. I think that they kind of got the rust off after that first game, and like I said, that game against Poland, they were just like really smooth, really good, clean attack, passing the ball really well. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, very much an entertaining game with an entertaining team that has all those players that just I love it when they score, honestly.
I kind of feel like Colombia is like the like Arsenal of international football.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like they don't normally do much, but every once in a while it all seems to click. Because you can go like even recent Arsenal teams that haven't been that well, you can like go and like every once in a while they put together this just like crazy passing move and score, and you're just like, was that Barcelona that I just watched?
This is how did I assist you? Yeah.
That's how Colombia feels. Like every once in a while, it just really clicks for them, and they just have like the smoothest attack that you can possibly imagine, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, so that's the end of Matchday 2.
Yep. That was Matchday 2. Go ahead and check out Matchday 1, and then we're gonna do Matchday 3. No, actually, because we're gonna be recording again very soon. Probably maybe the end of Matchday 3. I don't know when Matchday 3 ends.
I want to say Friday-ish, maybe set, because like they're playing 2 groups. Okay. See, today was A and B, so there's 3 more days.
So we'll record on Friday.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to record again on the weekend to do our predictions for whatever
for the groups. Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you thought of all the games. If you're a Mexico fan, tell me how you guys are going to lose against Sweden. That's a hard question. I'm not saying you're going to. I'm saying, like, how are you going to lose if you do? But yes, let's move on.
All right, let's do it.
To our second topic. We're not going to we won't do a 2-minute minor.
Okay.
And we'll just do this, and then because you know what we're doing.
Whipping out the notes.
Whipping out the notes. Woo! Is that Buster Owen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Whatever you say.
All right. The new Buster Owen. Anyways, you've been always like, I think we've been talking about doing this for like a month now.
Yeah.
Because it started about a month ago, and we're gonna go through the MLB All-Star voting updates, or at the moment, what's going on. You literally printed out the whole like vote count for each position for each league.
Yep.
I don't know how you want to start this. Do you want to go like how we're like? Do you want to go position by position?
Did you fill out like?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, dust. Okay.
I forgot to do it.
Okay. Well,
like,
I can talk about how I voted.
I mean, yeah, I can go off of what this is and like vote like that.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I guess this list starts at first base. So we'll start with the National League. Freddie Freeman. So like today actually, as of recording, MLB put out the updated polling for the All-Star Game. If you guys want to submit your votes, I think you have until July 5th at midnight, so it's like basically July 6th, to get in your votes. They let you vote 5 times a day, maximum of 35 total. So you can literally, if you are a diehard fan and you want to vote for, all of your Cincinnati Reds, you can just vote 35 times.
You're a Scooter Gennett fan.
Yeah.
This is your moment to shine.
So in the NL at first base, Freddie Freeman is way out there, coming up on 2.2 million votes.
Which makes sense.
Right, yeah. He's had a really great year. Distant second place, both Anthony Rizzo and Brandon Belt kind of round out the top 3 there. Freddie Freeman is who I voted for first base. He's hitting 327, 415 on base percentage, 565 slugging, and 15 home runs, 53 RBIs. There's really just there is no argument. I put down a couple other names here of people who are like having good years, but they're just really not on the Freddie Freeman level. So like Joey Votto, who's like just Mr. Consistent, Brandon Belt in San Francisco, and Jose Martinez in St. Louis, who's having kind of I feel unexpected but really good year, batting almost 300. But yeah, for me this was really obvious.
Yeah, I would have voted for Freddie Freeman. I just even like if you don't even watch actual baseball games, you just watch MLB Network when they go through quick pitch and stuff. All it is like when you hit the Braves. It's a Freddie Freeman highlight reel, dude. It's insane.
Yeah. So you'll start to notice, I guess, a little bit of a trend here, at least like in the top 3s for each of these positions. So moving on to second base, Ozzie Albies, also from Atlanta, is leading with about 1.4 million, and then second and third, very close to each other, is Javi Baez for the Cubs and Scooter Gennett for the Reds. Personally, I voted for Scooter Gennett. I think that he's having a really outstanding year, and I think that basically the Ozzie Albies and Javier Baez are like winning the popularity contest, but like just in a vacuum, looking purely at the statistics, Scooter Gennett is far above anyone else at his position in the league. He's basically batting 1 for 3. He's hitting 332, 532 slugging, 13 home runs, more than 50. So like he's on pace for more than 50 RBIs. I understand that Albies and Baez, both of them are a lot younger than Scooter Gennett is. I feel like at least both of them are rookies.
Yeah, they're definitely a little bit more energetic. They're definitely portrayed as like
I just feel like
young and fun little
right. I feel like they're portrayed as like the entertaining and like they have the hype behind them because like they're new to the league, and like both of them come from bigger markets, so they're just getting that like local
Well,
support.
a lot of it is like no one's really watching the Reds at the moment.
Yeah.
But like even though the Reds are actually getting pretty warm, they're getting pretty hot right now.
Yeah, and like the middle of that order has been hitting really well.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but yeah. I mean, you would have looked at the statistics, and I would be like, I like Ozzy, so I would probably vote for Ozzy.
Yeah. I understand that. He's just like, for me, another thing that you'll kind of notice as we're moving through, like how I voted, I'm much more of an average guy than I am power guy. There are a couple exceptions in here, but I appreciate someone who hits for average more than I do like than hits like 250 and has.
I think he's not that far down from like 300 though.
Oh yeah, he's not. He's in like the 280s.
Yeah.
But like Scooter Jeanette's batting 332. Yeah. So I mean, for me anyway.
Well, I also look at it too is like how many. I think he's like up there in RBIs and also up there in extra base hits as well. Because he was that stat I threw at you the other day with like the Mickey Mouse stat that he had.
Yeah, yeah.
So like that's like very impressive to me. So
yeah.
And plus he's a rookie.
Yeah. Moving on to third base, Nolan Arenado, well above Chris Bryant and Johan Camargo. Again, another Atlanta Brave making it into the top 3 in his position. So Nolan Arenado is just having a ridiculous year.
It's the altitude.
But yeah, that's another discussion for another day. Obviously, like everyone knows how great he is. Chris Bryant having, I think, a good, not great year this year in Chicago.
Yeah, he's like on a slump. Like he has like these weird, like they were going over like split slumps that he's had. He's already had like 3 of them, and he's in one currently.
Yeah. So at third base, I actually had Arenado like kind of coming in second for me personally. I guess I kind of contradict myself a little bit here because Arenado does have the higher batting average. But I went for Eugenio Suarez in Cincinnati. He's in 4th right now in the polling. I personally kind of feel like he's overlooked. I think he's easily... I think he should be number 2 just purely stats-wise. And so I kind of gave him the vote just because I feel like he's being overlooked a little bit.
We'll even see because like Chris Bryant, I think he even has a shoulder problem, so he might not even from what the last time
he might get added in as like an injury replacement.
Yeah, so we'll see.
But I think he definitely deserves to be like at least up there with Chris Bryant in the voting. He's just not getting that sort of support. So like who do you have at third?
I would have won Arenado.
No, yeah, I mean it's hard to argue with that.
I like the pop.
Yeah,
dude. Honestly, like highlight on the pop.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Like I'm editing.
He's having a great year.
I'm editing, and then I'll hear pop.
Yeah. So yeah, moving on to shortstop. I only wrote down one name because for me, there's only one person that this is going to be. That's Brandon Crawford for the San Francisco Giants, and Brandon Crawford has like basically double the votes of the second place. Dansby Swanson again, Atlanta, noticing a trend here. Then Addison Russell in Chicago coming in third. Brandon Crawford is having an incredible year. He's batting 308, 365 on base percentage, 490 slugging, 8 home runs, 35 RBIs. He's just like this season so far a class above anyone else at his position.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Isn't there's another Crawford, JP Crawford, right? From the Phillies, right? He plays shortstop. Maybe plays second.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not like on this.
Yeah, well, he's from a relatively recently trashed team.
Well, yeah,
not trashed now, but
like from what I saw, like he was actually hitting decent because like he has Herrera and Santana around him. But I have to double check his stats.
Yeah,
but I'm surprised he's not on there. Yeah, I would go with Crawford too.
Yeah, so shortstop's pretty cut and dry. If you look just like statistics wise. Moving on to catcher. First in balloting right now, Buster Posey in San Francisco. Second is Wilson Contreras. Third, Kurt Suzuki, again, Atlanta. So, like, so far, every position we've gone through, there's been an Atlanta Brave in the top 3. This one is actually really close. Kurt Suzuki is only 120,000 votes behind Buster Posey for first. So, like, 1, 2, and 3 are very close. I actually have my vote that I put in for catcher is actually not even in the top 5. I went for JT Realmuto in Miami.
Okay.
He's batting 308 this year, 367 on base, 549 slugging, 10 home runs, 32 RBIs, and that's on a team that he basically has no one around him.
Yeah. Now
he has like Justin Bauer. I mean, Cameron Maybin is there. Starlin Castro is there, but like he really doesn't have any help. And I feel like he probably has the best chance to be the representative from the Marlins, because I think there has to be one representative from each team. Obviously, they're not going to just like put him in front of Buster Posey if he doesn't get the vote. But he'll be like added by the coaches, or like maybe part of the final vote thing that happens, like where you get to pick like the last guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went for Realmuto. Obviously, like Buster Posey. I had also written down Buster Posey, Kurt Suzuki, and Yadier Molina in St. Louis. They're all having like kind of their like average years. Like they're all great catchers, both offensively and defensively. But I just personally feel like Realmuto is getting overlooked just because there's no one there in Miami to help him.
Miami sucks, so
yeah.
Even though they had a pretty good away game stands, like against I think was the Cubs or was it St. Louis? They like swept St. Louis, I think, recently. Okay. So I'm gonna go with Buster Posey because the other day I think he had like a multi-home run game.
I mean, Yadier Molina had a multi-home run game.
Yeah, but I don't like Yadier Molina.
What?
I like Buster Posey more. He's cuter. That's my girl. Like, vote.
Yachty or mine, dude. All right, we'll move on. We're moving on quickly.
Crickets.
Outfield for the National League. I guess I'll run through kind of the top 5. So you get to when you put it in your ballot, you get to pick 3 outfielders. So top 5 right now in the polling: Nick Markakis in Atlanta. Number 2 is Matt Kemp in LA. 3, Bryce Harper, LOL, 3rd place. 4 is Charlie Blackmon in Colorado. I guess I'll go 5 and 6. 5 and 6 are Acuna and Inciarte. Again, more Atlanta Braves players. So like they're getting a lot of, at least it looks like they're getting a lot of local support. All of them. I guess there's just a bunch of people in Atlanta that are just voting for all the Braves. So because literally every position, there is an Atlanta Brave in the top 3. So that's I mean they're having a great year, but there's other people who are outperforming most of them at most of those positions. So for the outfield, I had Odubel Herrera hitting 305, 358 on base percentage, 505 slugging, 13 home runs, 45 RBIs. I did have Matt Kemp and Nick Markakis. Both of them are very seasoned veterans, like in their mid to late 30s. Especially Nick Markakis. I think he's had kind of an under the radar career. He's actually better statistically than like a couple of Hall of Famers. He's one of those people that like he won't make the Hall of Fame because he doesn't have the like his name doesn't have like that sort of like draw or stopping power, but like his numbers just purely statistically really back up his career. He's had like a really solid kind of just like under the radar.
He started with Baltimore, right?
Yeah. Spent many years there, and now he's like really contributing in Atlanta, helping that young team out. I think he's I would say that he's kind of like the anchor of that team, just like the one similar to how I'm blanking on his name. When the Cubs won their World Series, they had that one David Ross.
Oh, okay.
That kind of role, except he's obviously producing a lot better than David Ross was for the Cubs. But just like that role in the clubhouse where like he's been
like McCann last year with Houston.
Yeah. Like he's been here before. He's been in the league for many years. He's like having a great year this year, batting .328. And then Matt Kemp, man, that guy came back from the grave this year.
Yeah,
like
he did.
I feel like when he went to San Diego, and like he also spent time in Atlanta not too long ago. Maybe it was even last year.
Yeah.
Like it really felt like his career was over once he left the Dodgers. So like it was just gonna like he'll have like a few more like okay years and like he'll fall off. And like man, has he had a resurgency? Like 318 batting average, 551 slugging, 13 home runs, 47 RBIs. There was a while there where basically Matt Kemp was keeping the Dodgers afloat.
Yeah, because the Cody Bellinger, like him out of that lineup, his numbers have basically replaced his numbers.
Yeah,
and that's why. Yeah, exactly why they were on that winning streak. They got over 500 now, and they're not that far away from
Arizona.
Yeah.
So those are my 3: Herrera in Philadelphia, Kemp in LA, and Markakis in Atlanta.
I would have went with Markakis, Kemp, and I like Lorenzo Cain.
Okay.
So
I have Lorenzo Cain written down on.
He's
here
a pretty gnarly WAR stat too. So he's like him and the other hitter Shaw.
Okay.
Shaw are both like they're basically not carrying the Brewers, but they're basically the standouts. And then Yelich would have been another pick.
I had Yelich. I had Cain and Yelich both written down. I had AJ Pollock in Arizona written down. I feel like he really helped kind of steady the ship there, especially in like the first couple months of the season when Paul Goldschmidt wasn't producing. And then I had Dietrich from the Miami Marlins in there as well. So that's the end of the National League. We'll move on real quick to the American League. This ballot that we have, or at least the ballots that are the polling that's available right now, is a week old. Tomorrow,
it refreshes.
As of Tuesday, yeah. So Tuesday the 26th, they'll put out the new standings for the voting. So this is as of Tuesday, June 19th. At first base, Jose Abreu is in first, 640-ish thousand votes. Mitch Moreland second. Yuli Gurriel from Houston in third. I'm just looking at this right now. Didn't pay attention. Albert Pujols in fourth place. Get out there and vote, Angel fans.
Please don't.
Could squeak in there. There with a good push. I started this. I actually had Gurriel as my vote, but I switched it kind of at the last minute. I went with Mitch Moreland in Boston. Having a really great year, batting just under 300 at 299, 569 slugging, 11 home runs, 39 RBIs. I feel like his season is being lost in the like Mookie Betts, JD Martinez world and the Benintendi world that's going on there. Like Boston's having a great season, and like he still is like the fourth or fifth best hitter on that team realistically, but like his numbers are worthy of an All-Star selection. I think in his position anyway.
I think I would go with Gurriel.
Okay.
Just because. Yeah,
he's having a great year too. He's batting .306. He has the highest average of anyone in his position in the American League. 429 slugging, 331 on base. I think part of what switched me over to Moreland is that while Gurriel has like the good average, he has very low production numbers compared to Mitch Moreland, just like homers, RBIs, stuff like that.
I don't think he's even on top of the... I have to double check the lineups for them. But I have to see what position he is in.
I feel like he bats 6th or 7th.
Yeah, so I'm saying that's probably why.
Yeah, it definitely could be. But like also, like Mitch Moreland is getting this sort of for like 11 home runs, 39 RBIs, like despite the fact that everyone that hits in front of him is having like even better. Like there's no one on base.
He's probably on the 4th slot. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. He's higher in the... He's probably
higher,
maybe.
So moving on to second base. I reluctantly wrote 2 names down here for me, but we'll go through the voting real quick. No surprise here. Jose Altuve, way out in front of everyone else. They're basically might as well not even...
I feel blessed.
they might as well not even be like a vote really at this position. Reigning AL MVP from last year. In second place is Gleyber Torres. Third place is D. Gordon, which I have a little bit of an issue with actually, because D. Gordon, while he's naturally a second baseman, he's not. The majority of his games this year have been in center field and not second base, but he ain't making the All-Star game either way. Yeah. I had Jose Altuve obviously as my vote. He's batting .345, which is absurd. 405 on base, 492 slugging, 7 home runs, 41 RBIs. And I also wrote down Gleyber Torres. He's another one where it's like the hype of like a solid. He's having a great rookie year. You definitely can't deny that, but like. I think he's a full like 60 points in his average below Altuve, so there's just not really a comparison for me.
I'm just gonna vote for Torres just because he denied no votes.
That's a wasted vote though, because like he ain't making up that ground.
I don't care, dude. I'm supporting, bro.
Okay, all right. Moving on, third base. Jose Ramirez in first from the Cleveland with coming up on 900,000 votes. Miguel Andujar from the Yankees in second. Alex Bregman in third from the Astros. Third base. For me personally, I had Jose Ramirez, 23 home runs, 52 RBIs, 296 batting average, slugging 616. I think that Cleveland's been on a run recently. I think they've won, as of recording, 7 or 8 in a row.
Yeah, it's not hard to be a run in that division when you play the...
No, I understand, but like they're playing a lot better now than they were before.
Yeah, they're barely playing 500.
Right. And Jose Ramirez has been like a really big... part of that offense, obviously, like 23 home runs. I kind of broke my average rule a little bit here. The other name that I have written down, who's not even on this list, is Matt Duffy in Tampa Bay. He's batting .318, and I think he has his production isn't there because similar to Remuto that I had on my NL ballot. Like, there's no one around him in Tampa Bay. Like, Evan Longoria's gone now.
Yeah, and they got rid of Span.
Yeah, so there's no one around him to even, like, bat in. So, like, he's having a really great year, and no one's going to notice, really, except, like, the analytics guys that he's even there.
Yeah.
So I just like shout out to Duffy for Tampa Bay because like he ain't gonna get no votes, but Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez is who I went with.
Shortstop.
Moving on to shortstop. I'm guessing you have Ramirez at third as well.
Oh yeah. He's hitting the ball well.
All right. Shortstop. Manny Machado recently moved from third over to short for the Baltimore Orioles, is leading with about 670,000 votes. Carlos Correa, Francisco Lindor in second and third, Houston and Cleveland. Manny Machado is having a really great year.
It's like a stacked position, first off.
It is.
So, your beloved Andrelton Simmons is like unfortunately not in the top 5.
I honestly don't understand that. Well, I do understand it. Again, from a statistics standpoint, I don't understand that. From a where he plays, national attention kind of standpoint, I do understand it. But like Didi Gregorius, he had a great March and a great April. Don't get me wrong.
But he hasn't hit the ball, basically.
But he has been in a black hole since May 1st.
He's like he had like a, what's he called? Who's the catcher? Sanchez.
Yeah.
Because Sanchez was like...
Gary Sanchez was the same way, yeah.
That's like, what the hell happened?
And like it even got to the point that Gary Sanchez was benched because like he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. But Didi Gregorius was the same way. At one point he was like 0 for 37. Like I think it was when the Angels came to town that like he broke that like 0 for streak or whatever. So he really like he's riding on the fact that he's a New York Yankee. Like let's be honest, similar like when we get to catchers here in a moment, it'll be the same way. So I really don't understand why Andrelton Simmons is not even in the top 5. He's batting .308, and that's only like he just came off of about a 2-week injury with a high ankle sprain, and before that, I think he was batting like in like the low 320s. So like he struggled a little bit since he came back from the DL. Andrelton Simmons is not actually who I voted for though. I went for Gene Segura. Gene Segura batting .334 in Seattle, .480 slugging. 44 RBIs and 14 stolen bases, so he's getting a lot of base running production from him as well. And I really feel like he's a big reason, especially in the absence of Robinson Cano, as to why Seattle are keeping themselves afloat and keep denying all the analytics that says that they should not be where they are.
Yeah, him and several players in that.
Yeah.
Are doing that.
Yeah.
I like Carlos. I'll probably vote for Carlos Correa.
Okay. Yeah, I mean he's having another just solid year. I just feel like Segura is a little bit more valuable to his team. I think maybe that's why I'm more and like just from a pure batting average standpoint, he has the highest batting average in his position.
I don't like his last name, so
okay then. Moving on.
Like a racist thing. I just don't like the way it's said.
Moving on to catcher in the American League. In first is Wilson Ramos from Tampa Bay. Second is Gary Sanchez. Third, Brian McCann in Houston. Where at shortstop, I feel like there are just a whole bunch of really good options. There is not that for catchers in the American League. I voted for Wilson Ramos as well. He's in first. But just the mere fact that Gary Sanchez, who like as of a couple weeks ago was batting a whopping 196 or something like that, is in second place in the catcher voting, that just tells you like kind of the dearth of production that most of the American League is seeing from that position. So yeah, I mean, I had Wilson Ramos. I think he's having a great year. He's batting .289, 337 on base percentage, 443 slugging, 9 home runs, 36 RBIs, and that's again on a team where there's no one really around him besides Duffy, who's having like a really solid year. So
yeah, I'll probably go with Ramos because I don't. There's like no Rays on this list. I feel bad.
Yeah, that's true. Outfield for the American League. I'll run through, I guess, the top 5 or 6 here. Mookie Betts actually in first over Mike Trout, who's in second with about 1.3 million. Mookie Betts with 1.57 million. Aaron Judge in third. Michael Brantley in fourth, and George Springer in fifth. I had Mike Trout, obviously, the best player in the league, deserves to be in the All-Star game. Whether or not he even plays a game in the year before that, he should just like be automatic entry. I have Mookie Betts, who's batting .338, 421 on base, 680 slugging percentage. Again, another guy with like a relatively high RBI total with 40, but also the stolen bases production, getting on the base paths. 14 stolen bases for Mookie Betts. And then I have one who is even on this list. Yes, he is at number 12. I have Eddie Rosario from the Minnesota Twins. He's batting .320, slugging .581, 17 home runs, 50 RBIs. He's just having a really great year. I think he's kind of been lost in the fact that the Twins are struggling as much as they are.
They're still surviving-ish.
Yeah, but they're like just bleeding ground to the Indians at this point.
It just depends on like if they can get pitching going with that team. Seems like.
Yeah.
Barrios had a really good outing.
So then the other two like kind.
Right? Did I say it right? Jose, right?
I think you did. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
I'm honestly not sure.
Sorry if I said your last name wrong.
The other two names, like kind of secondary picks that I had written down, were Andrew Benintendi in Boston. Another person that I feel like is just being overshadowed from the like incredible seasons that like the Betts and the JD Martinez's are having. And then I had Aaron Judge written in. Aaron Judge really is one of those people for me where the lack of an average, he is hitting I think, in the 280s, but just compared to everyone else, like the lack of an average hurt him for me. Because the other three people that I have both like a high average and high power numbers, so I went with them over Aaron Judge.
I got Mookie and Trout, and then I got Haniger from
Mitch Haniger. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I understand that. He's another one similar to Segura. He's another. Mitch Haniger is like a really has been a really big contributor for the Mariners so far this year.
Yeah, and, I like his stats. I like his stats. I'm not gonna tell you about his stats, but I like his stats because I haven't looked at him in a while. So, like it's been like a week.
All right. Last but not least, which actually is not on here.
DH.
Yeah,
you get to vote.
Carlos. You get to vote for DH. Hell no.
I'm pretty sure he's up there though.
Yeah, he might be, but he's only batting in the 260s. Like, get that out of here. He's getting votes because he's a New York Yankee, not because he's actually good.
Fly ball hit by Giancarlo. Oh no, it's all
yeah, and he plays in a matchbox, so it doesn't matter. DH not on the updating like ballot list here, but I had JD Martinez.
JD Martinez.
Yeah.
Wow. Who else? What
so
you're crazy
because you don't have any really other position where you can put him. I think he technically plays the outfield for the Boston Red Sox, but let's be real here. He's gonna hit DH in the All-Star game. 325, 23 home runs, tied for Trout with the league lead for home runs. I think still. Both of them on 23, 60 RBIs though, so bringing in all those, and all of his home runs are just absolute moonshots. Yeah, that crack of the bat. He's slugging .636, 393 on base percentage, and like I said, 325 batting average. There's just no one else. There's a couple other people that have similar power and RBI numbers. I know Nelson Cruz is up there, but steroids soak it out.
Damn.
Yeah. So
no respect.
That's my All-Star ballot. Finishing off there with JD Martinez. So, who I guess you'd have JD Martinez at the
yeah, of course. Are you serious?
Okay, I'm just saying, dude. I don't know. You said Giancarlo Stanton. So.
You know, like I'm not surprised. We didn't even see Bryce Harper on this.
Bryce Harper is third in the outfield.
Oh, he is. Never mind.
Which is basically just Bryce Harper carrying himself because his name is Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
He plays for the Washington Nationals, but he's batting down in the 240s.
Yeah, he's only it's only his home runs that are like keeping his stats like up there.
Yeah. So Bryce Harper is going to get in on his name. He's going to win the popularity contest here, but definitely doesn't deserve his position on the ballot based on numbers this year. It's having it down here. Anyway.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Poo poo, bang bang.
Yeah.
That's been our All-Star ballot. Let us know about your All-Star ballot. Go ahead and take a screenshot and tweet at us or something, or do it in the comments. Let us know. Let us know if you didn't like our All-Star ballot picks. Let us know how bad I picked because I like names for some reason. And I like the way they look. Not like, I'm not saying I don't like, who was it? The Buster Posey over Yadier Molina. But I like Yachty and his personality, but I think Buster Posey's cuter. Sorry.
All right.
Anyways, that's been Undrafted Opinions, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. If you're listening on the audio version, go ahead and give us a heart and a follow. And know that we do the video version of this, and also know that we do an audio version of this. So there you go. Now you know. And we'll see you guys next time, which will probably we'll record it on Friday or something, whenever we have the chance. We're busy.
We'll see you when we see you.
We'll see you when we see you. I've been Richard Rodillo.
I'm Jacob Bullard.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Deuces.